Today's sermon, the ship to nowhere, coming from the scripture of Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, reading in the NIV. And it reads, "The Lord will send you back in ships to Egypt, on a journey I said you should never make again. There you will offer yourselves for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but no one will buy you." Let's talk about the warning before the wreck. Family, this verse is one of those scriptures that'll make you sit back and say, whoa, God was serious. You ever had your mom tell you, "I brought you into this world and I'll take you out"? She really didn't mean she'll end your life. She was warning you that her love had limits if you disrespected it. That's the kind of tone God takes here. In Deuteronomy 28, God gives Israel two paths: the path of obedience, lined with blessings, the path of rebellion, paved with curses. By the time we reach verse 68, we've come to the bottom of the barrel, the final curse, the ultimate fall. God says, "If you turn away from me, I'll send you back to Egypt in ships." Wait, what? Egypt? The very place he delivered them from? Today I got 3 points I'd like to share with you. My first point is back to Egypt, the cycle of disobedience. See, Egypt represents bondage, not just physical slavery, but spiritual slavery. It's what God already freed them from. But here's the issue. When we forget the God who delivered us, we end up returning to what he rescued us from. Some of us know that pattern too well. God freed us from toxic relationships, but we went back. God delivered us from addiction, but we flirted with it again. He blessed us financially, but we start worshiping money instead of the one who gave it. Back to Egypt means back to struggle, back to confusion, back to cycles that should have been broken. Israel's disobedience didn't just offend God, it reversed their progress. They were meant for purpose, but their rebellion sent them on a ship back to pain. My second point is with ships, when comfort becomes captivity. Notice the detail with ships. Israel never needed ships to get to Egypt. They walked out of Egypt by land. So why ships now? Because this time, the journey back to bondage will be organized, industrialized, and escapable. It's one thing to wander back into sin. It's another when sin starts running the transportation. That's how the enemy works. He'll make rebellion look like convenience. You'll think it's just a little compromise. But before you know it, you're boarding a ship you can't get off. Ships are smooth at the start, but they'll carry you farther than planned, cost you more than expected, and keep you longer than you intended. My third and final point is no man shall buy you when help stop helping. The verse ends saying you'll be sold to your enemies, and no man shall buy you. That's deep. It means no one will rescue you. No one will redeem you because you refuse the only Redeemer who could. When you reject God long enough, he'll let you feel what life is like without his covering. Not because he hates us, but because he wants us to finally realize he's the only one who can save us. Israel's story reminds us the curses weren't God's goal, they were God's warning. He wasn't trying to destroy them, he was trying to draw them back. Even when we messed up, God's still waiting at the shore saying, "When you're ready, I'll bring you home." In closing, from ships to salvation. Let's be real. Many of us have been on that ship. We boarded things that looked good, that looked right, but led us away from God. We found ourselves in modern day Egypt, bound by guilt, habits, or shame. But here's the good news. Jesus took the curse so we could walk in blessings. Galatians 3:13 says, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law. He took our ship back to Egypt and turned it into a bridge back to grace. So today, you don't have to stay in bondage. You don't have to keep repeating cycles. You don't have to ride that ship any longer. God's saying, "Come back to me. I'm not mad, I'm merciful. I'm not trying to punish, I'm trying to restore." So the question is, are you still boarding ships that lead you away from freedom? Or would you trust God who parts seas to bring you back home? Because when you walk with him, every Egypt in your life loses its power, and every ship to nowhere turns into a testimony of deliverance. Until the next sermon, blessings, fam.